Greetings, of the interweb. I'm Parax11, review of the good, the bad, and the underrated. About time Jamie, what the hell is going on out there?
I'm detecting a massive spike in fractured temporal energy, B-Man. It appears our timeline is being damaged by a paradox around the time you reviewed the film Equestria Girls' Rainbow Rocks.
What? How?
Come on, I've already seen your last review. You said you'd do Rainbow Rocks.
I did? But... What's Lefty talking about? I didn't say that in my previous review.
Exactly. You need to travel back to a point in time before your Rainbow Rocks review to correct that paradox, presumably by reviewing the first Equestria Girls. Perhaps convince your past self to review it.
I mean, last time I time travelled it was just 2 minutes into the past to catch a line of duty I missed. And I ended up passed out for 5 hours, but what the heck, practice makes perfect.
You'll not need that. You will have your past laptop for editing.
Oh, yeah, but I want to be up to date on all the dead memes I'm abusing.
As you wish.
Greetings, sir. Screw it. No one cares about My Little Pony anymore, it's dead. Now, Pokemon Generations, that's a review people are gonna... Dad! I'm gonna revise soon, it's only 7 in the night. What the... Did I really sound that bad back now, Jamie?
P-Man, I don't know what you're doing here, but you must return to your time before you damage the past more than you already have by punching yourself.
Whoa, wait. Oh, I'm kind of drained of magic from the time jump. Plus there's a paradox in my point in time. Turns out my inconsistent upload schedule kills more than just my views.
Unstable tachyons on your coat indicate the presence of a paradox in your time period. You may remain, but I advise you return to the future within 30 or 40 minutes, or you risk damaging the timeline at this point as well.
Duly noted. Now then, let's finally get to reviewing Equestria Girls. This series seems to be the MLP equivalent of Marmite or Man of Steel. Some fans seem to really love it, while others despise it, and the original Equestria Girls film seems to typify that response, as even now many bronies and even casual viewers are split as to whether or not it's a good film. Coming into it at first, I was kind of intrigued by the idea considering I'm a Whovian, comic reader, and a huge fan of Philip Pullman, so I like the idea of alternate universes, and it's a concept that has fascinated me in real life. I also did kind of see a lot of creative possibility for the characters in a high school setting, as well as the possibility for it being really formulaic and cliché. Would this be an excellent expansion, or an inhumane abomination? Let's find out as we take a look at Equestria Girls. But hold on a sec, if it's Equestria Girls, shouldn't that mean they're still in Equestria? But they're girls, not ponies, even though they go to Canterlot High, so does that mean the pony universe is infringing on the pony people universe so that they become people ponies? This film starts in Equestria, so maybe it is Equestria? Oh, never mind. As the main 6 go to a princess summit in the Crystal Empire. I remember season 3. Back when the wings were new, and people took issue with well thought out character development. For some frickin' reason. I definitely fell on the side of really liking Twilicorn back in the day, and it's nice to see the hatred of new Alcorns die down to the point where Florrie Hart caused barely a rage quit in the fandom, as well as people cooling off when Twilight's ascension to princesshood turned out to be awesome.
You're nervous-sighted! It's like you want to jump up and down and yell, "Yay me!" But you also want to curl up in a teeny tiny ball and hide at the same time!
Pink formers! More than meets the pie!
You are a princess now, Twilight. Embrace it!
And all the merchandising that comes with it. They then go in to see Celestia, Luna and Cadence, Twilight bumping into this uniquely designed guard who somehow has even less personality than all the other identical ones with no lines, for them to...
You all look tired from your journey. Now off to bed, all of you.
Get sent off to bed like foals. Couldn't they have just come in the morning? Twilight starts to... channel the fans' worries about her wings.
What if now that I'm a princess, Celestia expects me to lead a kingdom of my own? Just because I have this crown and these wings, it doesn't mean I'll be a good leader.
While I liked Magical Mystery Cure, I can't deny how rushed it was, and it really should have been split into 2 parts to fully expand on Twilight's becoming an Alicorn. However, her development in this and Season 4 did really help, and it was a nice slow way to flesh her out. I mean, I was freaked out first time I changed species. And Twilight did eventually develop to realise that she defined her title rather than the other way around. After one trippy as hell remix title, seriously, I half expected David Bowie to come out of the screen. A not at all suspicious pony raids Twilight's chamber, trying to steal her crown and replace it with a fake. Even though without the other elements of harmony, Twilight should be useless, as only her friends respond to her cries of thief. I guess all the guards are deaf or taking the night off. Except this guy, who definitely is deaf. The thief is revealed to be a unicorn called Sunset Shimmer, who promptly escapes through a mirror.
She began her studies with me not long before Twilight. But when she did not get what she wanted as quickly as she liked, she turned cruel and dishonest. I tried to help her, but she eventually decided to abandon her studies and pursue her own path.
Her establishment just feels lazy, and her interactions with Twilight when we get to the human world doesn't help establish any minus being an alpha b****. Our only character traits for her are meanie pants and old student. Pretty weak. Granted, I haven't read the Fall of Sunset Shimmer comic that expands on her backstory, but I haven't heard good things about it from other reviewers, and a supplementary material can never make up for the flaws of the main product. So even if I like the story when I get to reading it, my problem here with Sunset's establishment will still stand. Also, how could she possibly know about the elements of harmony? She was trapped in a parallel universe, so couldn't possibly know about the elements being found, or the Princess Summit on the Celestia gave her some stupid information in her phone book from the next film. And why exactly did Celestia wait till morning? For all we know, Sunset could have destroyed the world in a few hours. They've been procrastinating unless time works differently between.
So now I've gone cross-eyed.
A gateway that opens once every 30 moons.
And if we knew how long moons were, that might mean something.
When Princess Cadence took over the Crystal Empire, we sent it here for her to watch over.
Bang up job she's doing guarding the thing. And for that matter, where the hell's Shining Armor?
You must use the mirror to go into this other world and retrieve your crown.
Well, forget it was my cup that caused this. It's your crown and you touched it last, so go.
She's going, we're going with her. Right, girls?
I'm afraid I can't let you go. Sending all of you could upset the balance of this alternate world, creating havoc that would make it impossible for Twilight to get the crown back from Sunset Shimmer.
I would say that Twilight could use all the help she could get, but the fabric of space-time is fickle. I should know. Plus, the Reflections arc in the comics showed the fragility of interactions of parallel worlds pretty well. And unlike in this time period, people can't tell me the comics don't count. Thank you, Shadowplay. However, Spike proves himself Twilight's most loyal friend, Suck It Rainbow, as... I had to. They then wake up with Spike's a dog, and Twilight is... Polka Brow from Blue Exorcist in purple face paint.
Are you gonna scream again?
Until Gauntlets of Fire, this was Spike's best showing in Friendship is Magic. He's snarky, but it's funny rather than annoying, and he's so incredibly helpful to Twilight getting acclimatized to the new world. He definitely earns his #1 assistant title in this film. As for the human designs in this film, I'm kind of mixed on them. While I think the clothes for Twilight suit her personality and design, I don't like that all the designs for our leads follow the same formula of skirts and boots. Even Rainbow and Applejack, who I really don't see as skirt girls, more trousers or shorts judging by their personality. It's also clear DHX wasn't quite used to animating humans yet, but this was their first time doing it, and they made up for it in the sequels, and the characters did get more varied and fitting accessories as this franchise went on. Oh dear Celestia, I shouldn't find it funny, but I really do.
You don't exactly have your horn. What? We really need to find you a mirror.
Well, just go back through the portal and... oh yeah, it'll change. Whoops. They then infiltrate the school with all the subtlety of a gay pride Kryptonian and bump into...
Whoa! You okay?
I mean, props to him for helping Twilight out, but he is still so boring. It's kind of insulting how Twilight seems to only like Flash for his good looks given her intelligence and his lack of personality. And that's not even getting into the fact that she's still a pony. I know that she's a human now, but she still has the mind of a horse and is finding a person attractive. Just... ew. Our first musical number ensues and it's okay. The music in general just sounds like Daniel Ingram wrote it in one of his off days, and all but one aren't actually sung by the characters. This one does fine, showing Twilight's confusion over the school, but that's it. There's nothing exceptional in the lyrics or visuals, minus Rebecca Soiket's singing. That's always great. Good thing Twilight and Sunset never had a sing-off in this film, otherwise she'd be so confused. They then come across...
You shouldn't pick up things that don't belong to you.
It doesn't really belong to you either.
Excuse me?
Okay, that's it. You bully Fluttershy? Prepare to die, sausage ***er. Wait, she redeems herself and becomes a good character. You win this round. Although frankly, this is the most evil thing she does, even when she turns into... we'll get to that. Also, oh my gosh, Twilight doing horse mannerisms is adorable. As is...
I'm Fluttershy.
Sorry, what was that?
It's Fluttershy.
Oh, best pony. Well, best pony person. She then tells Twilight she found Sunset's crown, which I will destroy for bruising her brow, and gave it to Principal Celestia.
You're not really supposed to have pets on school grounds. Might want to tuck them into your backpack. That's what I do.
Snow White ain't got shit on me. She then goes to the principal who...
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
All the adults in this films look weird. I know they go by anime standards, but those eyes are way too big and those legs way too long. And how can you not recognize Twilight isn't a transfer student? So to get the crown back, Twilight must become prom queen. Oh, I mean prom princess. Queens aren't marketable.
Well, if you do need anything else, my door is always open.
Even more inconsistent than Princess Celestia. Hindsight makes me even more thankful for Royal Problem.
I'll have to become Princess of the Canterlot High Fall Formal. So that's what I'm gonna do.
And how exactly do you plan on doing that?
I have no idea.
At least she's honest. And funny. Fluttershy continues to be best human by telling her about Sunset's power hunger, although it's about as obvious as a T-Rex in a chicken farm, and recommending her to Pinkie, who's just as weird as Equestria's. I also like how Twilight actually wants to meet her friends, as opposed to in the pilot where she had to. Next, she runs into Fluttershy out of the blue and Rarity finds her later. So it's pretty unique, as well as making me feel kind of nostalgic.
Fluttershy, huh? Don't let the whole shy thing fool you. She can be a real meanie.
You dare speak out against Best Human? Poor Andrea Ligman must be so confused. Also, Pinkie, jeez, you ever hear of personal space?
Do you have a twin sister who lives in the city, has a pet dog named Spike that looks just like that one?
Nah, she's just obligated to stay out of the films till the last in the trilogy. Twilight then signs up. Admittedly, her handwriting's better than mine, as AJ brings in alcohol. We'll need it come the climax, warning her, again, Sunset's evil. I would say they're kicking the dead horse, but there aren't any horses here.
That one's trying to hide a secret, but I am totally onto her. She's psychic!
Well, telekinetic, but not too far off. Sunset then turns up to remind us she still exists, and to establish Snips and Snails' adaptational villainy for no reason, but it's Snips and Snails, so I don't care. I guess human snails isn't as zen as pony snails.
Fizzy apple cider? Ugh, this is my coronation!
This is bad comedy.
Man, the budget for Canterlot High must be going down the toilet, while the wine cuts out for dramatic effects like a crappy horror film.
Should've known Princess Celestia would send her prized pupil here after my crown. And her little dog, too.
Sorry, I have to.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Pop quiz. What happens when you bring an element of harmony into an alternate world?
I mean, it's never been established, so anything could happen. It can even turn into some weird lobster demon for a rushed finale. I'm gonna regret saying that, aren't I?
Oh, and I keep an eye on your mutt. Hate for him to be taken away from you.
Is that a threat?
No, that was a friendly anecdote. What do you think, you doggy dunce?
The great and powerful Trixie!
Need some peanut butter crackers.
Wait, why do I find that funny? It's funny, I'll take it. Twilight then reaches Paradise, well, her paradise, to see some humanized shoutouts. Cheerilee, who could really use a cup of tea, and the Crusaders.
When you're a younger...
Referencing one of their worst episodes. Wait, are they YouTubers? Oh my gosh, I can relate to them even if they... Wait, how much screen time do they have?
30 seconds.
Some of the comments about our song were really awful. Epic fail. Funniest thing I've ever seen?
If you think that's bad, don't piss off the Teen Titans Go fans. No, I'm kidding, go ahead, it's so much fun. Snips and Snails then stalk her and film her as per Sunset's orders, even though she makes it way too easy. Really? Picking it up with your mouth?
I hadn't even thought about where we're gonna sleep tonight.
Spike then reveals that he made her a bed? Oh my gosh, that's adorable! I don't even care if it would be uncomfortable, that's just... Oh. Twilight then finds a yearbook with the Humane Five as friends, even though they aren't now.
I just can't help but get the feeling that Sunset Shimmer had something to do with it.
No! The next morning, Twilight decides to win over the students with talking points. Good luck. I've lived in a human world most of my life, and I still find conversation starting hard. The pupils then all laugh at her as a Rarity Ex Machina pulls her into a room and reveals Sunset cyberbullied her. Why has no one reported that to the principal? Well, considering what state the school's in, she'd probably just do nothing. Although the fact that Fluttershy mentions Sunset doing a similar thing at another dance makes it seem even more preposterous. How has no one reported her? No one likes her and yet they just put up with her. How can she be so despised yet so liked?
It just raises too many questions.
The Humane Four then start bickering because teenage girls bickering is apparently the height of entertainment in this film.
Something happened. I think that something was Sunset Shimmer.
Sunset Shimmer isn't the one who ruined my silent auction for the animal shelter by bringing fireworks and noisemakers.
I got a text from you saying that you didn't want a silent auction, you wanted a big party!
I never sent you a text.
You didn't?
You don't think she's the one who's been sending me those emails, do you?
How incredibly convenient! All of their problems were down to one individual and a lack of communication. That's the kind of organic conflicts we love. Oh, look at those pigs flying out the window. Oof. I better get on with it before the timeline gets even more wiggly. We then finally get to Rainbow Dash's introduction, only halfway into the film, who challenges Twilight to a football match for her loyalty.
First to 5 goals wins. 1 zip!
I don't even play football and I know that's a foul. Not that it makes much difference when Twilight actually gets onto the pitch.
Huh?
I really thought you were gonna pull it off there in the end.
Rarity, your white skin colour only makes the brown on your nose even more obvious. However, Rainbow decides to go along with Twilight anyway. But Sunset was watching too. The Grinch called. He wants tips on being shallowly evil. They then go to a coffee shop to remind us, oh yeah, Flash still exists. Fair enough. I'd forgotten since... Wait, who is he again?
You know me! Always trying to make a big splash around here. 'Cause my drink kinda splashed on the ground.
Except you had to explain it to me! If you have to explain a joke, there is no joke!
We then find out Sunset and Flash used to date because... honestly, I don't know. It doesn't give any depth to either character and kind of comes out of left field. Speaking of left field, when discussing Flash, Mr. Left Turn brought up an interesting point. It would have made more sense if Flash had been a dick when dating Sunset, before realizing she was a bad influence. It would have given him some agency, showing that even as a human, Sunset has a kind of corrupting influence. That would mean he's drawn to the more kind Twilight Sparkle as a form of redemption. I should go up with him again. After I give him a stern talking to for causing this debacle.
Now this may be an absolutely preposterous idea, but what if we all wore these as a sign of unity?
I hear furries are in fashion this season. Although I admit them showing unity through their school spirit is a good idea, in the spirit of Twilight uniting them, despite their differences. So do we get a Making Friends musical montage? Aw, out of nowhere musical number doesn't sound as catchy. This method of just getting everyone together through a 3-minute song feels awfully rushed, and the time would have been better served as a montage showing how the Humane Five can unite all the cliques in the school. That being said, I do really like the song. It's bubblegum pop fluff, but it's enjoyable, fitting the high school setting, and it's the only song I remembered after the first time I watched the film, so that has to count for something. Although, how the heck can Flash play his electric guitar without plugging it in? That's either a huge plot hole or he has major skills. I've ragged on him enough in this review, so I'll just say it's skills. Mostly to keep continuity with my video where I am actually nice to him. Sunset then shows Vice Principal Luna, because apparently nepotism is magic, a destroyed dance hall, getting Twilight in trouble due to some really amateurishly done fakes. I mean, YouTube's in this universe, so why isn't Photoshop? Cutting glue is the best you could do, Sunset? But then Flash comes in to show how fake they are. Maybe if she turned on the lights she could see better. And while this is nice, it honestly could have been filled by the Humane Five, or even better, another random student, to show the positive effect Twilight has on the school. And this conflict was established and resolved within 2 minutes. Can you not waste my time? I don't think I have much left. Wait, aren't the Arkham Knight's legs supposed to be bent? Let's get on with it! One of this movie's biggest problems is that loads of scenes either feel pointless or incredibly dragged out, as Twilight has to find the crown before, tomorrow at this point. Any sense of urgency the ticking clock could give is lost, making the film feel like it's dragging its heels. And speaking of...
Wanna go to the fall formal with me tomorrow night?
That would be... tomorrow night? No.
Loser. Now you've been in just as few relationships as me. I'm incredibly lonely. At the boutique, Twilight worries about getting her element back home, as Spike has a solution.
We tell them the truth. These girls rallied around you because they saw what was in your heart. They aren't gonna feel any differently about you when they find out you're a pony princess in Equestria.
Aw, Spike's great. And his best portrayal at this point in the show was as a freaking dog. The writers didn't really treat you well, did they, little guy? While the scene of Twilight revealing the truth should be slow, intimate, and...
You're from an alternate world and you're a pony princess there, and the crown actually has a magical element embedded in it that helps power up other magical elements, and without it, they don't work anymore, and you need them to help protect your magical world. And if you don't get the crown tonight, you'll be stuck in this world, and you won't be able to get back for like a really, really long time!
I should hate Pinky for undercutting the potential drama of this scene. That was so funny!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that isn't the reason.
Nope, she's pretty much spot on.
He can talk!
Look at you lot, you're all so vacant.
No, it seems impossible, but maybe if we all work together?
Well, this is a high school tween movie, so of course. Regardless, all the students banding together, although no one at secondary school I knew would be so enthusiastic about a dance, reinforces their togetherness much better than the lunch hall scene, and is pretty touching, even if the song is pretty forgettable and... Oh, for God's sake. You're supposed to be past awkward blushing. Get on with your useless subplot.
Next time I ask you to make a mess of things, try to show a little restraint. I need this formal to go on tonight just as much as she does.
Then why did you trash the dance, you bacon-head bimbo? If the dance is essential for your plan, I think that it should go on at all costs and... Take it away, George.
You are made of stupid.
We then get yet another forgettable song as the Humane Six dressed up for the dance. Not only is the plot paced really poorly, but so are the musical numbers. There are 5 songs in total for the film, 6 if you include the credits, though I don't, and out of them, there's only 1 in the first half, and then the other 4 are crammed haphazardly into the second, and not helped that only one of them isn't forgettable fluff in my opinion. However, my problems up until this point are paltry compared to the third act. While the first 2/3 are flawed, I still find them very enjoyable, but the finale... Flash runs up in his goofy car to ask Twilight again. He just can't take no for an answer. Creep. That's some delicious pain. Oh, waiter, can I please get some ketchup with... Actually, save it. It's so delicious on its... Wait, there's a waiter here? On with the show. The dance ensues with more shoutouts than you can shake a muffin at. Why is Scootaloo doing the chicken dance? As the principal announces the victor.
The princess of this year's fall formal is...
Oh man, this is so awesome!
Peter Capaldi!
What? It'll prepare the kiddies for how disappointing elections are in real life. Although Peter Capaldi would be best princess. No, Twilight wins, but the celebration is cut short as Snips and Snell still spike.
Don't hurt him!
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. I'm not a monster, Twilight.
Give her time.
Give me the crown, and you can go back to Equestria tonight. Or keep it and never go home.
Well, if the hammer wouldn't pass through the portal, that would be a credible threat. I know, she could potentially destroy the portal if she hit the foundations, but she's a villain. Of course she'd miss.
Equestria will find a way to survive without my element of harmony.
Are you sure about that?
But Sunset initiates a game of keep away, which Twilight loses due to sports, her Achilles heel. And to answer Sunset's earlier question, I guess an element of harmony in a parallel universe does this. As an admittedly pretty creepy and disturbing transformation ensues, turning Sunset into...
You serious?
Oh my Celestia, that's the most ridiculous villain design I've ever seen. He looks like the awkward love child of Sebastian from The Little Mermaid and Goliath from Gargoyles. Even the new extreme looks for Tweedledip and Tweedle can't match how ludicrous Sunset's form is. Still, at least now she looks as stupid as her actions. We can add brainwashing to her new sloppy list of powers. Even Halo would say that's too many. Calm down. As she reveals her true endgame.
I want Equestria, and with my own little teenage army behind me, I'm going to get it!
You have to be joking. You swap out one cliché motivation for another, and you say that's brilliant? Plus, as far as I remember, there should be... Okay, let's see, there's 5 main characters, princesses, shining armor, military, discord, and... Oh, what the heck, Dr. That's 12 things that could stop you and your army of uncoordinated teenagers. I mean, look at how Twilight fared when she got into this world. I doubt the students are going to take to quadrupedalism much better. You could have just stolen the crown from Principal Celestia earlier and got this over and done with. Although you probably just thought up this plan as you came along. And thanks to all these factors, what exactly will you gain from your invasion of Equestria?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
A good chess master plan is supposed to make every action seem logical in hindsight, but sunsets just look even more illogical than they already did, and that's saying something. Sunset then tries to serve us char-grilled teens, but hugs can stop fires?
The magic contained in my element was able to unite with those that helped create it.
What?
Together with the crown, they create a power beyond anything you could imagine. But it is a power you don't have the ability to control.
What?
The crown may be upon your head, Sunset Shimmer, but you cannot wield it, because you do not possess the most powerful magic of all, the magic of friendship.
What is happening? What?
What the f*** was that? How can they all harness the power of each element with only one in this universe? That shouldn't even work. And why does magic make them all horse-human things? This makes no damn sense. She made connections to the versions of her friends in the Pony universe, not these ones. But at least Sunset looks less ridiculous now.
Tonight, you've shown everyone who you really are. You've shown them what is in your heart.
They already knew she was a power-hungry so I don't see how this is a surprise.
I don't know the first thing about friendship.
I bet they can teach you.
After all that, you're just gonna forgive her? Are you freaking kidding me?
Would now be a completely awkward time to ask you for that dance?
Well, considering a while ago Sunset said,
the portal will be closing on its own in less than an hour.
Yeah, sure. And while they danced to the boring reprise, the portal closed and Twilight was stuck there for however long 30 moons is. Still, at least they show some form of punishment for Sunset. And by some miracle, or convenience, Twilight manages to go through just seconds before the portal closes.
Oh, we were so worried.
Sunset Shimmer, is she alright?
I think she's going to be fine.
She'll be ostracized and mocked by her peers, but other than that, she'll be fine.
Whoa! We've got to stop bumping into each other like this.
Yes, you do. Oh, and for those who ship Pony Flash and Twi over Human Flash and Pony Twi, in my opinion, that's even worse. At least the two in the other universe talked, but in Equestria, Twilight, every time Flash and her are in a scene, never says a single word to him. I know still a better love story than Twilight is kind of cliche at this point, but considering Edward and Bella actually had conversations in those festering piles where film and literature goes to die, point goes to Shovelface and Deadeyes.
I don't even know him. He just...
Totally reminds you of a guy you met in the other world who played guitar and was in a band and helped prove he didn't destroy all the decorations for a big dance so you could still run for princess of the big dance and then asked you to dance at that dance? Right?
You know, jokes are never as funny the second time. But this one's still pretty funny. And so this big toy pitch ends with a zoom out to another bland toy pitch. So that was My Little Pony Equestria Girls, and I find myself in an odd position with this one, since while I do enjoy it, I can't call it a good film. I'm going to say what I did like about the film first, considering I've been pretty harsh on it throughout this video. and there is a lot I like. The first 2/3, despite having plot holes that could swallow the multiverse, are very enjoyable. There's a lot of nostalgia with Twilight meeting her friends all over again, with the fact that most of the time they seek her out or she actually wants to find them, being an interesting contrast to the first episode. There's also some nice animation. I liked one of the songs. Many of the jokes are laugh out loud funny, and Spike is just phenomenal. Not until season 6 did he earn his title of #1 assistant like here, or Lesson 0. He's funny, acts as a good voice of reason for Twilight, and is so very helpful. Often he felt shoved into episode plots, but here, he feels integral to the story, and it was just so satisfying to see him done justice, and only foreshadowed much better things to come. However, there are so many things that make this movie go further south than Antarctica. The most constant annoyance for me was Sunset's shimmer. Her stereotypical alpha bitch personality combined with a plan so convoluted and makes Stephen Hawking confused makes her such an insufferable character, and it's surprising Megan McCarthy, who's probably the best writer on the show, would write an evil scheme that's so ill thought out. Flash Sentry had no personality, with his scenes feeling utterly pointless and his romance with Twilight feeling both boring and kinda creepy. Although to be fair, he doesn't have much more personality than the other students, with McCarthy having to humanize side characters to give them some form of identity, and all the songs minus Help Twilight Win the Crown feeling just forgettable. The Humane 5 also feel kind of flanderized compared to their equestrian counterparts, and not leaving much of an impression, but then again, they aren't the focus of the film, that's just Twilight, and they're still enjoyable to watch, with their lack of depth only becoming noticeable in later films. Most of them would get better once the specials and shorts rolled around, so they got the spotlight rather than Twilight or Sunset, although Rarity has remained annoyingly flat. While I could put aside most of these problems for the first 2 acts, the third erases practically all the goodwill I felt towards the film. The dance feels arbitrary, Sunset's new design and plan are so stupid, Magic only turning up for the Deus Ex Machina feels completely out of left field, and Twilight staying for the dance, despite the fact that the portal could close any second, might just be the stupidest thing any of the main 6 have ever done, and considering the next episode from this one chronologically, that's saying a lot. Overall, this film was inconsistent to say the least, but while it was kind of awkward and poorly written in places, the good points definitely showed a lot of potential. Quite a bit of it was paid off in the later movies, especially the next one. Okay, review uploaded and sent to Mr. Left Turn. Hopefully he won't show it to anyone.
I have also received the review and will begin uploading it when you return to your time. The paradox in the future should be resolved and the distortions here will fade.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, I think my magic recharged enough to get back to the present. Let's just hope that I can review all the other Equestria Girls stuff quicker than I did this one, and that I won't potentially threaten the universe. I'm Parex11, thank you for watching. What happened last night?